A spectacular performance. Curry from half court. Sometimes, something looks like it's been there a while.
We are here, the 3 Points Podcast, back-to-back uploads, being consistent. We're locked in. This time around, well, to be fair to us, last season we were pretty consistent, I would say.
Absolutely.
Can we give ourselves a pat on the back for that? We're giving us a pat on the back.
You two.
You two at the fans at home, although one of our co-hosts, the one who works at, was it JP Morgan?
JP Morgan.
He did not do it.
It was Goldman Sachs. It was I can't forget my own.
You're doing your foot at both.
Well, I mean, they kind of lend me, amongst each other. It's in the financial sector, it's actually a very common practice.
That is like Kev.
You want the highest quality employees, you want them to be where they're needed most.
Working for the competing bank.
Well, they don't really compete. See, that's actually the thing about the financial sector. They're all
right.
kind
In
of
America, we're all in union.
Yeah, they're all kind of in it together. They're all trying to make money. So
They're all trying to scam the people.
exactly.
Equally. We've been pretty good. I would say last season. It was just like in the off season or when we got kind of eliminated, we just said, frick it. I said, why would we give a crap? Like, why would I give a crap that Shai Gilgeous is winning his ring? I don't give a frick. You know what I mean? Sorry, I said it. But anyways, we're here, and we're gonna do a short kind of little recap. No, not recap.
Recap last week's
What
episode.
are you talking about?
We're recapping
What are you-
the 2024 season today. We're gonna
recap everything that's ever happened.
We're gonna recap Warriors franchise history. We're gonna be talking about what we think is the deal with the Warriors, where we rank, what our kind of threats are, what our potential weaknesses are, and how we feel heading into the season. It's gonna be a short episode. I would imagine 15, 20 minutes. Shouldn't be any longer than
You
that.
guys will know because you're gonna see that the actual YouTube video is gonna have a time listed. So I don't know why this guy's talking about. He thinks it's gonna be 15 minutes or 20. Because if you're listening to this, you just know.
That's true. That's true.
So we're gonna be moving swiftly on. With that being said, I think let's just get straight to it. How do we feel heading into the season? I guess what do we actually rank ourselves in the West and then in the league? Like, what teams do we think are our actual threats / competitors? We can kind of go through a list, I guess. Like, we could go to NBA. Then we kind of see the standings to refresh our minds. If you forgot, because let me get start from the East. I think we're better than the
Why not the
Pacers.
West? What's most relevant?
Because I feel like East are stronger than majority of the teams there, so it's easier to knock them out. The West is a little bit more
I
in
guess
depth.
you're competing against the West primarily
Yeah.
for
Yeah, that is
in-
true.
in the
Yeah,
playoffs,
that's true.
against the
Okay,
finals. I mean,
fair enough. They've convinced me. I don't know why they're keeping attacking me. So we're gonna go with the King.
Compare ourselves to the WNBA teams and the NHL team. Let's do cross sport analysis. Yeah. Anyway,
So the King.
starting with the Sharks. How do the Warriors compare to the Sharks relatively?
I mean, we don't have generational talent. Macklin Celebrini.
That's not generational talent.
Like,
Draymond's not
no,
generational.
Macklin Celebrini is like
Kuminga's
from
not
the
generational.
get. Actually, I'll punch the shit out of him. Macklin Celebrini is like the Victor Wembanyama of hockey.
that's what they say.
That's what they say.
I didn't see it in his rookie year, but
Literally, actually, okay, I know you're memeing, but like literally statistically, he was already one of the better centers in the league. Just saying.
he didn't pass the eye test to me. But hey,
We also have Sam Dickinson, also pretty damn good.
Dickerson.
Dickinson. If you're right,
Okay, fair.
fair.
yeah, I was right. I was right, guys, for the fans at home. Anyways, so let's start with the Kings. We are better than them.
We're better than the Kings. I think we can all agree.
Yeah, I mean, like, I guess to do some analysis with the fans, they're like, we're better. Lakers, we're better. Suns, we're better. Clippers, we're better. Jazz, we're better.
What I think actually might be more helpful is doing some tier stuff, like a tier type system.
I agree.
Because I would say, look, to me, there's a clear tier one in the West, which is the Nuggets and the
Thunder.
Thunder.
And the Rockets.
No, I think they were, but the Fred VanVleet injury, I think, moves them down.
and I kind of agree.
Really?
And Van Vliet really
Wait,
played-
but what's interesting is that you kind of said
he was
Van Vliet
dog shit in the
sucks.
playoffs. I'll admit it, but at the same time, he's had good playoff series before. One playoff series doesn't determine a guy's
It's an
ability.
ACL or something like that. He's out the
And
entire season.
and more importantly,
ACL, yeah.
he has been one of the most reliable contributors in the regular season for like the
Oh,
past
he had
5
an
years.
off-season workout in the Bahamas. Oh my god.
He had an injury in the Bahamas. That is so funny.
That's pretty tough. He was in Cancun. He got hurt.
So who's his replacement?
It's gonna be a min. They're gonna slide him in
Or Reed Shepard, I thought was like, well, men's always
Reed
starting.
Shepard, but I don't think he's projected to be starting.
So wait, who did they
maybe
lose for KD
further
again?
down the line.
Who did they lose for KD again? Did they lose Green?
Yeah,
Jalen
Jalen
Green and
That's
Dylan
it?
Brooks.
and Dylan Brooks. Yeah, yeah, not exactly the end of the world
Yeah.
for the
I
Rockets.
mean, for their
For
defense.
wing defense, like
Yeah. Which
Dylan
one's
Brooks is
the-
one of the better wing defenders
Yeah.
in the league.
He is, but I think I mean
KD is also. a
they
big
have him in.
defender,
They have
right?
Tari Eason. Like they were not
True.
lacking for wing defenders. I think the big thing is like they maybe you could easily see them trying to add at the deadline some kind of like
Supplementary
smaller
point guard,
but pass first point guard. But I do think for the regular season, at least in terms of fighting for a top 4 seed, losing Van Vliet does really hurt them because I am not convinced that Amin as a starting point guard is going to be that effective as a playmaker. Like yes, for because normally I mean at least what we saw in last year's playoffs, like he's playing three, he's playing small forward, and he's a very good playmaker for small forward. As point guard, we'll see. I don't know. I'm not really.
I mean, he didn't really give to me a guy bringing the ball up type of
Yeah.
guy. Like,
Yeah.
he's a defender. He's like a gritty player. He didn't seem like that quick, shifty,
Yeah.
et cetera, et cetera. And his offensive game was his weaker side.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
objectively for his game. He's
His whole
much
his
stronger.
offensive game is like cutting. That's kind of his.
Yeah, like he was hitting tough shots. Like when he would hit a shot, it would be like with the
hang time of like
exactly.
3 seconds.
Literally. I think we're literally thinking of the
So-
same plays. So it's I would agree then probably. You guys kind of do convince me. I would
I do-
put
I do
the
agree with
Rockets
that.
are the same tier as us then.
Yeah, I kind of agree.
Well, actually, I'm not gonna lie. I'm getting a little bit high on the Warriors now that like we kind of got some
I
trades.
think,
in.
I think we're the more balanced team. Like the thing with the Rockets,
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
a whole offensive load on KD.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't really trust Amin to take on much of that. Like I think he's gonna be an all-star this year, but I still don't think he has like
You think so?
the. Yeah, I think so.
He needs to
Like,
be All-Star Thomas.
Who?
I mean,
I doubt it.
You
Again,
think so?
he'd have to take.
he's not really enough.
He'd have to take a major leap on offense to be an all.
That's the thing. Like that's what I'm saying, because
but
because our
there's
league
the
does not
opportunity
reward
now.
our league does not reward elite defenders, right? Like
It can,
like the
though.
same level.
He's the best defender there is, which
But I mean, like I don't know, right? Like if you look at
and offensively he's not gonna.
okay, who are the best wing defenders in the league? I would say last season Dylan
Amen.
Brooks was one of them. Amen.
Amin's better than Dylan Brooks, I would say.
Okay, so I should point out, Wes, you were partly right. There's an ongoing debate amongst Rockets fans whether Reed
I
Shepard
could
or
have sworn.
Amin
Yeah, I could have
Thompson
sworn there was.
should start.
This is kind of
we'll
worrying.
see.
Reed
Reed
Shepard.
Shepard had a very, very disappointing rookie
Yeah.
season, especially considering where he was picked, especially considering that the other guys picked around him all, had these kind of like promising, like they're flashing, stuff type rookie seasons, and he was basically just relegated to G League. But at the same time, if he decided to show up year 2, that would be a major boon to them, and I think if he like blossomed into a starting caliber point guard, that could probably vault them back into that first tier.
That's true.
But again, for right now, like the way that in my mind, I see the Nuggets and the Thunder as the clear
Yeah,
A.
yeah.
A tier, and then the Warriors are probably the class of the B tier. That's kind of the way that I would.
No, I would do it the other way. I would do S. So I would say
Okay.
S. I think we're A tier.
Okay.
We are an A
Yeah,
tier
yeah.
team. Like I genuinely do believe it now. I think I am, and I think what's kind of driving my optimism is Butler, for sure. Butler, because I low key forgot because it was it's kind of like a fever dream. Butler game, we were the 11th seed, then back to back. We started stringing
we had,
wins.
like 2 seasons of rumors.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We just had so many rumors, this and that, and then finally we get him barely. And then what happens all of a sudden? We go from the 11th to like the 7th. Then we end up playing. We get in. We get to the first round. We gritty, grindy. He gets injured. We get to the second round. Steph gets injured, and boom. It's like it just happened so fast.
Yeah,
I think now that they have some time to breathe, some time to gel, mesh, rest, recover,
and add some good pieces.
add some solid pieces. We are basically what I'm picking up is. Do you guys remember the first half, like up until like November, December, where we were the first seed at one point last season, right? And what was it? Our depth was really good. That's what everyone was saying.
I mean, Melton was still healthy.
Melton was healthy.
Yeah.
Hield was playing really well.
You were using that like the 12-man rotation. That was
We were using the 12-man rotation,
the
exactly,
top
right?
of the league.
Absolutely. So I feel like we're gonna have a little bit of that going on. Plus, we got Butler now, and if we had Butler at that time, we would have been a freaking a contender for sure, right? So it just really depends on if we could remain healthy. I don't even necessarily think we need to get any big trades anymore. Like before, like kind of we were all talking like, oh, we need a trade, and everyone's like clowning on Dunleavy and all this. I think all things considered, we've had a very quiet yet productive offseason.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I agree. I guess I just to continue with the kind of tier idea.
Yeah.
So you said okay, S tier, Thunder and
And
Nuggets.
Nuggets.
So-
Let's talk about why the Nuggets. Everyone knows why the Thunder.
Absolutely.
I would say the Nuggets because they looked a little bit fallen off right after
Yes.
after whatever the Bruce Brown Jr. left, and then some other guys left.
Jamal Murray had it down.
Jamal Murray had it down. Now they got Bruce Brown back, who was a key thing to their championship.
Mhm.
Not key as in like he was a main guy, but he was a good role piece.
Yeah.
Good depth, right? Good
Yeah.
squad, and that's what you need.
Sure.
Yeah, exactly. That's what you need. I would say he was more impactful than
I
Otto
like same
Porter.
like idea.
You think so?
Probably.
I would
Probably.
say he was kind of like a tier beneath JP for us, right? Because they are similar, very offensive-esque players. Or is Brown a
He was
Brown
a
good
good
defender?
defensive player.
Brown really can barely shoot, actually.
Really?
Yeah, he's
And they were a really good playoff defense.
he's a really good defensive player. He's
interesting.
very, very for a guy his size. He's very, very good on the interior. Like especially like he can play kind of an undersized power forward role. He's a really good rebounder. He is not an offensive threat. He's not somebody who you're going to trust to break down defenses. And phase up.
Interesting. Yeah, actually, I didn't even realize that. Yeah,
But
yeah,
when
you're
you
right.
go back to how the Nuggets used him in 2022 when they won the or 2023 when they won the championship, like he was operating as an undersized small forward. He was cutting. He was crashing the offensive glass, and he on the other end he was going down and locking dudes up on the perimeter. And that he's had he's getting older. He's had a few down years, but now he's back in the system that took him to his best season.
I mean,
I
he's
agree. I
29, by the way.
And he's okay. That's kind of funny because I would have said he's like 32. But and then obviously the other big thing is like
Cam
Johnson.
Johnson.
Yeah, that's
yeah,
the
exactly,
huge thing.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And they still got Aaron Gordon. They got Jokic. I feel like it really is incumbent on Murray now.
Yeah.
Like, if you could bounce back to reminisce of what that 2020
Sub all-star.
Yeah, exactly. Like just barely not an all-star. Although in the playoffs he was like an
yeah,
all-star.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Super.
I think we would definitely agree on that for sure. OKC, obvious enough. A tier now. I think Warriors are there for the
Yeah.
reason said. Any other points from you guys there?
I mean,
I feel like we just like require more time. Like I really like the team on paper. I just want to see it gel.
Yeah.
Because you
Yeah.
never know, like the fit just might not be a good fit. I'm also like interested, like the new pieces we've added, how it all meshes together. It's a lot of vets, so I would assume it's gonna mesh well. Like people are gonna make sacrifices for the better of the team, hopefully. So that's kind of promising, but yeah.
I think I would like to also say that like I just really am interested to see Pods and Moody. Like they're my biggest question marks for our season.
Mhm.
Moody not as big of a question mark because look, his role is very defined. It's very rigid. 3 and D guy. We need you to hit your shots. We need you to play defense. Defensively, he's been decent. 3 side, he's been a little bit loosey-goosey fluctuating.
Yeah.
That's his question mark. Pods, it just comes to can you offensively produce? Can you shot create? Because that is kind of what we lean on him to do a little bit. That shot creation, which then he kind of ends up just doing his ugly step back to his ugly jumper, ugly rainbow shot, right? So it really is a depend on that. Look, as a defender, I would imagine him to be the same, if not a little bit better, which is what? Slightly above average.
Yeah.
Right? Playmaking, I don't know. What's your guys' thoughts
I
on
feel like he's
playmaking?
just a really good like connected piece. Like he's not. I wouldn't really like him to lead my offense, obviously, but like I think he works well with like the smart guys on the team, like Jimmy, Dre, and Steph. They're able to kind of read each other's minds. Like he's always not as kind of gifted as them in that aspect, but he's able to kind of make the smart reads that Kuminga can't necessarily make the comparison. Like
Yeah,
Kuminga doesn't
and-
have it, but
And that's the thing, like I think a lot of people kind of like especially people outside the Warriors, non-Warriors fans kind of see him as a point guard, but if you actually look at like like how he's been used, and B, if you go like in analytics, where he's been the most productive and the most efficient and had the most positive impact on team winning, it's always been at shooting guard. He really is much better playing off of Steph as a connective piece, as somebody who's primarily cutting and who's running off screens. He is really not. The reality is he is not meant to be a lead ball handler. Certainly at college and at the college level, and when he came in the NBA, there was kind of this idea of him as he's a guy who could create his own shot and be a lead ball handler.
his handle's all right.
His handle's all right. I think, to me personally, I think I've seen enough in the 2 years of him playing to come to the conclusion that he really is not ever going to be a functional point guard at the NBA level. But I see you.
I subtly disagree with that. I do think he can become a primary ball handler. Kind of similar to, I'm trying to think of like an example where someone who is competent as a primary ball handler, but isn't like elite. Can't really think off the top of my head. I guess, do you guys have any names of someone who's decent?
D'Lo. I'm just thinking of left-handed guys. I mean, D'Lo's a much better scorer at his peak, but
Yeah, I mean
Yeah,
D'Lo
sure.
is I mean yeah, D'Lo is not. It's not peak D'Lo. It's not fair to him to
yeah,
say.
but like as a ball
Pod.
handler and like a point guard.
Like
Maybe
someone who can
Chris
bring the
D'Lo-
ball up. Someone who can
Yeah.
bring the ball up, right? That is someone who I think Pods can be. However, my second question, I guess, is you said he's a better two. Now, what I would imagine is that like a two is someone who, a traditional shooting guard is someone who could kind of hit their shots,
Yeah.
right? That's kind of where he does struggle.
That's what's interesting though, is that, yeah, I mean that's why I think a lot of people kind of see him as more of a like, oh, like he's a TJ McConnell type. Oh, like he's a, you know what I'm trying to think of another guy like that. Oh, he's a guy maybe you can bring in and run the bench unit thing. That's really not who he is. And you're right. He is also not a traditional shooting guard, but I think the reality is he's just not a traditional player. He's a kind of a funky, weird player. Probably a slightly above average 3-point shooter, but certainly not an elite 3-point shooter.
Ooh,
He's
is he even
probably-
above average 3-point shooter?
He's a slightly probably above ball handler, generally speaking. For guard, I would say he's just an average ball handler. He's probably a slightly above average defender. But what I think he really excels at is what is commonly called the intangibles. As a cutter, as somebody who knows where to be in the offense, somebody who can move into the right spot, even if he's not actually getting the ball into play. The fact that he filled a certain space opens up something for somebody else. And then on defense, again, little intangible things, the positioning, taking charges, stuff like that. So I think he's an unorthodox player, and I think a guy like that, I don't want to see when I see the ball in Pod's hands and he's trying to run the pick and roll. I'm like, like I don't get a good feeling when I see him like cutting to the basket and then they float the pass over the big. He's there under the basket and then boom, he finds the guy in the court. Like that's where I see him. Like, okay, that's a Pod's play. That's where he can really positively impact.
But on the positive note, what is good is that these are things because he does have the shooting tools. He does have the
Yeah.
fundamentals where he could, hopefully, which he is, develops his.
He's like minimally better.
If he's
just a little
developed
bit.
exactly slowly but surely, he's kind of refining his shot, improving his shot. We just needed him to be a reliable shooter, and the issue is that right now he's significantly not a reliable shooter. Like remember, there was that stretch where he couldn't hit a three
Yeah.
to save his life. Right, it was really, really Kelly Oubre-esque in
He did
2020.
balance it out with a hot streak.
He did,
towards the
where
end
he
of
got
the
kind of
season.
hot.
Yeah,
But ultimately, what am I really talking about is the playoffs.
yeah. you're right.
Him and Moody disappeared in the playoffs. They
Right,
were just
they're
not
right.
there. They're
Yeah.
non-existent. And that's what really was really tough because it was like Moody basically was out of the rotation at the end of the playoffs.
Yeah.
Pods, he was getting time, but it was like it was just bad. It was really ugly, and it was just really like, okay, are these? It looked like they were like not NBA caliber players at that.
Yeah.
Like
I
it
mean,
was that bad.
And that's
a
what's
tough matchup, like Anthony
Yeah.
Edwards, Jay McDaniels.
That's what I'm saying. That's what the playoff does to these guys. These guys who are not NBA caliber shot makers, you have to do so much of the other stuff to return positive value. Like the guys who excel in the playoffs, they're guys you can just be like, hey, you have a one-on-one matchup. You need to beat your guy and get a bucket on this possession. And I mean, there's a lot of guys around the league who fit that description who are also not great players. There's lots of ISO gods who are, again, not
Cam
positive.
Thomas.
But I think as a general rule, the guys who are both smart players, good defenders, guys who know their place in the system, but who can pull that stuff out in the playoffs when they need to, pull out the ISO stuff, pull out, tough contested buckets. Those are the guys who really, get extended playoff runs and, make their name
Jimmy's a
on
prime
the
example.
bigger stages.
Jimmy's like the
Exactly.
epitome of what you're talking
And
about.
again, that's one. I think Pods, especially in last year's playoff run, he got exposed a little bit as a guy who maybe you can't trust if their team is putting their second best wing defender on him and he has an ISO at the top of the key. Can you really trust him to get a bucket?
No, I don't.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't really think you can.
We're gonna find out, right?
Yeah.
Look, first two seasons. First season we didn't even make the playoffs, or did we? Did we in 2020?
No, that was the
Play-in year,
nod year of the Warriors. That was the play-in exit to the
right?
Kings.
To the
Yeah.
Kings.
Oh yeah,
Was it the Kings?
Clay's eliminated.
Please.
Ah, that was Pod's rookie
Over
season.
to-
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, okay, and then last year, first playoffs. Look, it was also his first playoffs. Same with Moody. No, Moody. They were on the championship. They were on the bench. They were like.
Yeah.
But
And
the point
the,
is,
and the Lakers.
Oh.
Us Lakers next year.
Yeah.
He actually played all right against
in that Lakers, yeah. I remember he was there. He was there. So I would say Moody Pods are the biggest question marks for us.
Dude, that's the story of Moody's career. He actually played all right.
I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the type of guy we need him to be.
Yeah.
He played all right. He did his
Exactly.
job.
I mean,
He did
he
his job.
just-
He is very much, look, if he could be like not like play like Looney, but Looney-esque. Like Looney in our playoff run.
Start rebounding.
No. Like what I mean,
I
no, you get what
for a second I was like, what are you talking about?
no, like where
that's
Looney
good.
had his role and he
Yeah.
executed.
Yeah.
We need Moody to do his role well. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. We don't need creativity from him. We just want you to do your stuff.
Especially now, like that in that playoff series, it was literally like Steph was our only kind of star we could turn to. Like at any, like,
Yeah.
I remember like when Steph went out, it's like, oh yeah, we're cooked.
I mean, that was miserable. That was genuinely the most miserable. It was like, it was so bad.
Because Steph's gonna play them to a draw, but then once he's out, kind of
God, that was so
now
bad.
we have Steph, Jimmy,
We got Drimmy. he's up and coming.
Jimmy and Dre mixed together. And there's just a lot more like, I guess,
Options. No, for sure. And then we got a lot more spacing,
Yeah.
which, like, in theory, Kaminga should be thriving. In theory, this is
Theoretical
Kaminga's.
Kuminga. Oh,
Jonathan Kaminga's 5th season. This season is his, in theory.
Man, could you imagine just the
If he was a
magical
normal
freakout
guy-
campaign?
I mean, if he was a normal person,
could you imagine just making like 22 points a game, 58% from the field?
I mean, right now he's 7. So right now they're playing the preseason of the Lakers for like the 5th time. Is
Yeah,
that so? Are we just playing the Lakers? Opening day, Lakers. Preseason, Lakers. He's doing all right. He's got 7 points. I'm kind of noticing a good theme here with Kerr. Kerr's just trying to like, hey man, we love you. Play in the preseason. The second the regular season comes, minute restriction. He literally has Buddy Hield. Dude, Trace, I'm also very excited to see because he's basically gonna be Looney now. for
Yes.
us. And I am low-key excited because he's like an athletic Looney. If I to a
Like-
certain degree, would you guys agree with that statement?
definitely
mean,
more athletic than those.
He's
No.
he's
Like,
more athletic than
I'm saying like the other aspects of Looney.
I do think it is a little bit. He has a lot to show to demonstrate that he could rebound the way that Looney could rebound.
in defense.
He has not demonstrated the instincts on the glass that Looney kind of made his name with. And also on defense, I mean, Looney was a very like that's the thing. Looney at his peak from like 2020 to 2022, he was a switchable defender. The amount of times that like especially in those playoffs that 2022 run, you would see him switch on to guys like
Luka.
Jamal Murray or like Luka famously, I think, in that the match series, and kind of stonewall them. That was where he added a lot of value. Trace, I don't know. I'm not.
He's not.
I haven't really seen that
Has he
much.
gotten any playoff minutes? Like,
He did. Very little, but
oh yeah, I remember him and Pat Spencer were kind of beefing with Şengün. That was the.
yeah,
his
because
highlight.
remember we were talking about how please give Jack. I remember in one of our episodes.
Yeah.
I remember at least me. I was like begging, please
Yeah.
give him time because Looney was looking so damn bad.
Yeah.
And finally they gave him some time. But I mean that's not a fair assessment, right? Because
Yeah, it's
you just getting thrown into like the
Yeah.
fire with no time whatsoever.
I mean,
Um,
the thing with him is like he needs to be better as a finisher because he's struggled pretty mightily actually when you compare his numbers to other bigs around the league. He struggled pretty mightily as a finisher.
Mhm.
That's a problem for a guy who again is going to be playing basically exclusively the 5. He's flashed so much though. He's flashed the rim protection, which is huge for the Warriors because we don't have a bunch of rim protectors lying around. He's flashed the rebounding, but I wouldn't say he's been super consistent on the boards. And he's flashed some impressive finishes on lobs, but again, when you go back and look at the numbers, they're not that great. He smokes a lot of layups.
Yeah.
He misses dunks occasionally. So
look again. So I
He-
guess these 3 guys,
Yeah.
really need to have some improvement to their game. It's like a must. It's a must. Not Moody. Moody doesn't need improvement to the game. He just needs to be consistent. That's
Yeah.
about it. Pause and Trace, we need improvement. We
Yeah.
need them to get up. So I think what we could do is that like we could stop right here. So next week, then we could continue with tier A because the league starts the week after that, right?
yeah,
Because it's the 12th. You have a calendar on here, Wiz? Sorry.
literally said October 12th. Going crazy.
No. I know. I'm trying to see the calendar though. Yeah.
think
So the
21st.
league starts on the 21st, which is the
Yeah.
Tuesday after the next week.
Okay, so maybe sometime this weekend.
So yeah, like next weekend, basically, we could just have our final preview where we talk about what we think the rest of the league shapes compared to us. But really, I mean, I guess we could talk about the East real quick. Is there anyone from the East? S tier.
Yeah, Philadelphia 76ers.
You know what?
With a healthy
Actually,
Embiid, a healthy Paul
on that
George,
note, we will
and a
actually.
healthy Tyrese Maxey, they're coming for the title this year.
We-
We stamp it right now.
Okay, we're talking about like, is he a Warriors fan or a Philly fan? Who knows? We're gonna actually just do that next week as well, I think.